Hello guys, welcome. This playlist will be about CSS animation, which is um, a feature that make possible to create transitions to one CSS style configuration to another. There are other possibilities. Is a web API that you can use with JavaScript that does really the same things. But we'll talk about this. Three key advantages: very easy to use, and it's quite true, more than the API probably, at least in my opinion. The animation run well, even under moderate system load. Okay, and other things. But let's just really move into practical things. We will use the animation keyword, of course, and its sub-property, which we will not show it now, but we will see it one by one with examples. And what is a @keyframe rule, which will configure the appearance of the animation. Keyframe rule. Keyframes actually as a format. Keyframe rules actually is defining the difference between the initial state, the middle state, the initial state and the end state, and of course that can be middle states, is what it's saying here. Keyframes use a percentage to indicate the time during the animation sequence. First percent, 0% is the first moment, 100% is the last. Of course, there are things in between. Animation shorthand. Okay, here we really get into something. Of course, there are a lot of these, and we will see one by one. Anyway, most of them are quite intuitive: animation duration, animation name, iteration count, direction. Okay, you can use a shorthand, animation, etc., etc. And of course you will do it, because otherwise you will freak out. Okay, last thing, setting multiple animation property value. Here we have three different property value of three different elements or features. So fading out, move left and 300 pixel and bounce, has fading out uses the duration of 2.5 seconds and will be counted two times. Move left 300 pixel 5 seconds one time, bounce 1 second 5 times. This is how it works. This example is more simple since there is one iteration count. This is more how can I say it? Boring, tedious, because we have three elements but only two animation duration. If in this case, fade in uses the first and the first, move left the second and the 5 second, bounce the first and the first, because after we reach the last, we return back to the first. If the mismatch, blah blah blah. Okay, okay, I took the slide, and so we can see the first example. Here we have animation duration 3 seconds. Animation duration for 3 seconds. So it lasts for 3 seconds. Slide in, which we will see what it does. Keyframe, which is what is doing, what is creating the slide in. So we are actually, it's like we're creating an object, no? Anyway, from margin left 100% with 300% to margin left 100% with 100%. It's quite simple to understand. There is not much to explain. You just need to we just need to see more examples to get into the practice, I think. So let's just see. Okay, quite simple. Now I will take the other example from the course. Okay, so now it has I have added it has added the another break, another point inside our keyframe, um, which is at 75% of the timing. So we have a duration timing of 3 seconds. This state, the CSS style, will appear after 2 seconds and 10, more or less, no? Okay, font size 200%, margin left almost arrived with 100%. This is the animation. Okay, so it gets a little more complicated, but was interesting to see. And yes, I keep let's keep having a look at some features. The guide then adds animation iteration count infinite to the code, which actually makes no sense because we are using a text. Anyway, good to know that I mean, this is a possible solution. Of course, if you can specify how many iteration count you want, and we are saying infinite, so it continues continuously. Okay. Okay, so here where the someone who created that guideline wants me to arrive. Now we have added the animation direction alternate. Look this feature. Looks nice, huh? Okay, so another possibility, of course. Last example taken from Mozilla Developer. Here we are actually logging the iteration of the animation. We didn't. We created a class other than giving this animation to an element, to a tag. Then slide in is still the same, and here we change the HTML, and here is the piece of code that is okay. Okay, so get element by ID, watch me, which grabs the H1. Then we added some event listeners. There were add event listener, animation start, and animation iteration. Then element class name, slide in, function listener event. So we create this element like okay, here I should okay. We create a slide in function listener. We create a list that event.type. In case of animation start, it writes started elapsed time, or new loop started at. Okay, this is I think then document get element by ID, output append child. I think this is a very standard code. I don't want to get too much into JavaScript because this is not the point. So just to show, okay, and it's logging down, is logging what we wanted every 3 seconds, a new loop start. Okay, this is it for this lesson. Now I will create more complicated examples, and we will talk about it. So this little tutorial playlist will be only practice. I want to talk about each individual possibility in theory. We will just see some practice to learn how to use this CSS animation. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.